Okay, I'm going to share. I'm going to check my YouTube to see. Maybe it's still showing waiting, so I don't think we are live yet. Okay,
Showing what?
like I'm coming.
But it's showing here that live.
Can you check your? Okay, that's why we have to go early. So it says like there's always delay. We should have gone live since. Wait, my.
Oh, okay. But
So
it's
yeah, we are
reading
live now.
here.
All right. Let's try and see if we have like
Are you recording or something?
yeah, I am. Hmm. When we have like few people join, then we can just get started.
All right.
Okay.
Like the. All right.
Mm, mm, mm. I think we can just get started because since people are here. Okay. Hi guys, you're welcome to today's session. I don't know, hold on, let me check if they can if we have anyone here with us today. Okay, because of our time, let's not wait too much for people. Like I think they will just join and we just go. Yeah. So hi guys, good day, happy Sunday, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching us from. Um, it's our pleasure to have you here today, and thank you guys for joining this session. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Olamide Messi, and I'm a graduate student studying in the United States. And it's my pleasure today to be a host for today's webinar. Okay. And for those of you who are just joining us for the first time on this channel, we get to talk about studying abroad opportunities, application guidelines, and so many other things to help your study abroad dream come to reality. I created this channel to express myself and to also help other people express life in a beautiful and healthy dimension. So you are welcome. You are welcome. Um, you can just like if you are watching us, you can just drop a comment to let us know that you are here. Please drop a comment wherever you're watching us from, anywhere you're watching us from. Just drop a comment so we know that someone is listening to us. Okay, guys. Thank you. And yeah, today's section, today's live is going to be we'll be talking about still pertaining to studying abroad, but we want to share some codes, some strategies with you guys. And that is why we have a speaker today. I have like to have our speaker here today is a privilege, I would say, because not everybody is willing to do this. Not everybody is willing to share their time and make themselves available to talk to you guys about the whole process. So you'll be hearing from somebody who has gone through the study abroad process. Okay, so it's going to be like so like I feel like you hearing from people that have gone through the process is something that really helps a lot and you can gain insight. And along this process, we're going to give room for questions and answer. Okay. All right. It is my pleasure to introduce today our scholar. Okay, I'll let him introduce himself, but yeah, he is a scholar, not just a scholar, a mathematician, and yes, a PhD student for that matter. PhD student in mathematics. It's not easy. So I will let him introduce himself to you guys, then we can proceed. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, host. I don't know what you mean by scholar, but okay, I will accept that. Um, but I know it's not a bad name, so
Yeah.
thank you. So my name is Francis Omoniyi Emmanuel. I am from Nigeria. precisely Osho State.
Cool.
And so all my life I've been dealing with mathematics. I love mathematics, and so I have my BSc in mathematics in Nigeria from Unilorin, University of Ilorin, Kwara State. And so I got here for my PhD in mathematics as well. That is United States, University of Alabama, Birmingham. So, but along the way, I had my master's in mathematics, in applied mathematics in University of Alabama, Birmingham. And currently, I am a PhD student in applied mathematics.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you for um thank you for being willing to do this, and thank you for coming to my channel. I really do appreciate it. Yes, and if I may ask, how is the PhD in you? How is the study going? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? So in United States, oh yeah, I think every graduate school that I know of. So if you are a PhD student, there are milestones. So aside from passing your coursework, you have to pass qualifying exam that will say that you are ready to be a PhD candidate.
Yeah.
So like before they can really call you a PhD student, you have to pass some exams aside your course
Work.
work exam.
Yeah.
So, um, before I go here, like I've heard that if you can be, the way they call us in Nigeria, if you can be a scholar, then um, you smash everything in United States.
That's
It
so
wasn't like that, honestly. When I got here, I struggled my first year. I was even thinking of going back to my country and start something in my country. Because it was tough and mentally it was draining, honestly. But considering the situation and not giving up, I had to put in the effort, the determination. I had to motivate myself. And despite all I did my first year and my first semester, so when I did not fail any course, I was like, yes, I can do this. So it was tough. It was tough and rough in the first semester. I had to study a lot. I have to learn from the beginning. I had to learn as if I don't know anything. you
hmm.
know. But right now, I'm glad to be called a PhD student because I passed all my qualifying exams already.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm just saying that. That's
So but it wasn't easy, from the beginning, but with dedication, with motivation, and putting in the best in me. So I'm here right now. So I would say the program wasn't easy, but it's worth it. It's enlightening. It is educating. I've known a lot since I got here. My 2 years here, it's been a lot. I've learned a lot. So yeah, so that's the program in summary.
That's cool. Thank you for that. I forgot to mention Francis is a first class mathematician. He graduated from the University of London with a first class in
Mm.
mathematics. So him saying, telling you that, like so many people will be like, oh, when you get to the abroad, it's very easy. A first class mathematics, you know what it is to graduate to the first class in the University of London from the University of London. So it's something that you guys have to know that this studying abroad is not a beans. You have to study when you get here. But that aside, I'm going to go straight to the questions I have for you. Before we give room for question and answer, I will want you to share your process, but I also have some questions for you. And yes, I knew you went directly from BSc to PhD directly, and it was along the line you got your master's. But what gave you the boldness to apply directly from just with just your bachelor's? How did you know about that? What gave you like? Can you please tell us why did you just apply for PhD straight? Why?
Okay. Before I go straight to that question, I will encourage people to actually use LinkedIn a lot. Because I started with LinkedIn. So
You guys should take note of that. LinkedIn. Use
yeah.
LinkedIn a lot.
So now let me give you two reasons why I say so. I was an intern out during my NYC, and I got to know the the HR actually reached out to me directly from LinkedIn because I posted about my first class and about me. So the HR reached out, and the person that introduced me to a student here in my school, my current school, the person reached out to me from my post on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has really, helped me a lot. So, all right. So, going to the question. At first, I was like PhD. Grow. She can testify to that too. I don't really like studying that much. I don't really go to night classes. Because we went to the same school.
Yeah.
But I didn't plan to apply to PhD directly. I'd be like, let me start from masters and
Yeah.
see how,
Because that is what people would want to do, right?
yeah, and see how it goes, and from there I can move forward. But when I checked my school, the school, I knew about UAB. Someone told me so, and someone told me that a professor needs a student, but you still need to apply, on the school website.
Website.
So when
Yeah.
I checked, and I realized, as at that time, they really fund master students, especially international students. So there was no funding, and I did not have money at that time. So the only option left was to apply directly for PhD.
Okay.
You know, then I had to go check the requirements. My CV is still dry. I don't know anything, no Python, no MATLAB, nothing. Like absolutely nothing except what I can boast of is my first class in math. So but I cannot. There's no way I will, put my first class as big as possible in my CV. So I was like, how am I going to like do this? But um, I even asked the person that introduced me to the department, how do I do? Should I apply? The person was not really responding. But I had to, I needed funding. I didn't have money. So it is either I get it or I do not.
Okay.
So I had to like, okay, with faith, let me just apply. I will just put in whatever I can put in my CV and my statement of purpose and everything and see how it goes. And so all the requirements, I made sure I had to do Duolingo because my school accept Duolingo as at that time. So I had to do Duolingo exam as well, and I'll be like, okay, let me just apply with faith. So
Okay.
that is how I applied for PhD directly.
Okay, yeah, sorry to cut you, but like, to those of you watching us, if you are listening to Francis, one thing I want you to also realize is that you don't have to have a lot of skills, of course, experience matters, but you don't have to wait until you have all the experience in this world. What you have is enough. You just have to package yourself well and shoot for your application. Okay, so yes, you said you did Duolingo. This is like it's very rare. Like, what can you tell them about Duolingo? What does that? What part of your application does the Duolingo represent? Yeah.
So United States, they want to be sure that you can communicate in English and you understand English because every lecture here, the means of communication here is in English language. So Duolingo is an English proficiency test. So just to test your use of English generally. So it is like TOEFL and IELTS.
Oh,
So
okay. So why did you choose to go for Duolingo, not TOEFL and
yeah, so as at that time, I wasn't having my international passport, and I think IELTS and TOEFL required
in your
international passport.
passport? Yes.
Yeah, but Duolingo allows you to use a national ID card. So I only had national ID card then. My international passport was not ready then. They delayed me in a way. So so I couldn't, register for the other two. So I had to go for Duolingo. And as at that time, I think I didn't have enough time to prepare for TOEFL and IELTS. And
Okay.
so I had to go for Duolingo actually. But I was preparing for TOEFL and IELTS, but because of the passport thing, I had to go for Duolingo. Since my school accepts it, so why not?
All
Why not?
right. All right, just let me quickly ask you a question. Is it the Duolingo cheaper than TOEFL, or is the same cost?
Yeah, exactly. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, so Duolingo was way cheaper. Was
Oh,
way cheaper. Yeah, like way cheaper, and I think way easier. So way cheaper, way easier in terms of the difficulty in the exam and in terms of registering for the exam.
okay.
So, but not all schools accept Duolingo.
Duolingo. Okay, so you have to check if
Yeah.
you they ask for like English proficiency. If they don't accept those, if they don't have accept that certificates to show for waiver, to serve as waiver, then you can check if they accept Duolingo. It's way cheaper and it's easier. And instead of you like spending more money, because you will still spend money along the line. Okay, so yes, thank you so much. And the question I also want to ask, when you were applying directly from BSc to PhD, you mentioned that a student told you about a professor. So definitely, so how did you reach out to that professor? What was that influence in your application process?
All right. Thank you very much. So when the student told me about the professor, so I will list the processes,
Okay,
but what I did, I had to go. Firstly, I had to go search on the professor and check what the professor is doing currently, or the current research or the past research, so that I can write something if it aligns with mine. But actually, as at that time, sometimes if even if my research does not align with the professor's current research, instantly it will align, because because I need the funding. So I will write that it aligns, or probably I will just look for one of his or her papers and find the connection with
what you
what I love to
do?
do. Yeah. But you cannot lie actually
Yeah,
that it aligns, and when you get to the school it will not align.
you
You lose the
struggle.
funding. You will be stranded. Yeah,
Yeah.
is it that you struggle so that it will align, or if you are not doing very well, you are gone. You find your way.
Yeah, so
You
please
have.
to cut you. I'm sorry to cut you. Please let's pay attention to every word he's saying. He's talking from experience. You guys
Mhm.
need to understand this. Don't just because you want to get funding quickly say that your research aligns. When you know you're not capable, just make sure that you will either struggle to align or you will find your way out of the program. Yes, you can continue.
And it is not easy to struggle to align. It is not easy, right? Because you have to learn a lot of things. So you need to have the foundation on that research interest before you can work with the professor.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had to research about the professor and write something. As at the time I applied, it was Grace, and because I did not really follow certain process, like I did not um, compile my email very well, But later, I learned how to write, because after my the first email, after I got to this school, I've written to some other professors. So um, so yeah, do you want me to mention the?
Yeah, so like you mentioned that you wrote an email. Can you tell us like what the email entails? We really understood that like this is what got you the funding and the admission and everything, right? The email you sent to the professor.
Yeah,
But
that
can
was the
you
beginning.
process on that and let us know like what did you say in the email? You said that you went to the website of the professor to check for his research interest, right? So
Mhm.
did you how did you write the email? Can you just give us an overview of what it should entail?
Okay, so I wrote it down, so I'll be checking. All right.
Okay, please take note of this if you're watching.
So, like the key things, actually, the first thing is you have to personalize the email.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so um, during my time, I told the professor that I am a mathematics major, a first class from this school. So I have to mention, or I had to mention, specific aspect of his research that interests me. So
Okay.
that shows you've done your homework, right?
Yeah.
That would be the first thing. You have to search on the professor, search for his papers or publications,
Yeah.
or some will write current research area. So you have to know those things. So now you have to mention the aspect of their research that interests you. Yeah, some of them it's always more than one area. So at
Yeah.
least you have to mention that okay, this area interests you. Then further, I picked, yeah, during that time I picked one of his papers, like a recent one. So I just picked some.
Recent paper, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I picked it. Then I'd be like, this method he used in solving this problem. I'll be like, I am interested in this research interest, especially in the paper titled this, which he used this approach to solve this problem.
Okay.
So so after I did that, so number two thing you need to do is you have to keep it brief. I cannot personally, like everyone, you cannot open an email and see a big write up and
You won't be interested to
be
go through.
interested in reading that. So you have to keep it brief. You know that professors are busy. Like mine, probably that was why he even replied me, because he replied me after 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, after 4 hours, he replied me
Really?
the same
Wow,
thing.
wow.
Mine was very short. Mine
Four
was
hours.
very short.
So like, is
Mhm.
it because of the timing or what you wrote or like why did that was very fast?
Well, um, yeah, I would say based on the tips I've been saying. The first
Okay.
one, I personalized the email. I had to search
What do
about
you
his.
mean by personalize the email?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you will mention specific part of his research
Okay,
that
okay,
interests you.
okay.
You personalize the email that okay, this particular aspect interests me,
All right.
especially a paper titled this, which you use this approach to, like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Okay.
you say that that interests you, and that particular paper captivates you and draw your attention.
All
Then
right.
number two, you now keep it brief. I wrote one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I wrote about 10 lines. But I don't know, maybe it's my laptop, but it wasn't too much. It wasn't too much. Just keep it brief. Just mention your research. Just introduce yourself a little bit. You don't need to write everything. Like, okay, during my undergraduate, I did this. Okay, I did this internship. Just introduce briefly, talk about the research that interests you,
Yeah.
and you have to just be concise and go straight to the
3
point.
points. I'm sorry to cut you short. I want them to also understand that when they are sending cold emails, what you just have to do is anything that is not relevant to the research interest, don't put
Bench.
it in the
Mhm.
email. Please and please, let's just go straight to the point, and that will aid a quick response from the professor. Yeah, you can continue.
Now, I will add something later because you can actually want to talk about your experiences and your research later. You can attach documents.
Yeah,
You can attach document to support the image, but the short one, the brief one, would have captivated him.
yeah,
Then he will now check the other documents.
yes,
But you wouldn't want to now use the email itself to write a long this thing.
yeah.
So for the email itself, it should be brief.
Okay,
Then you have to make it clear how your research interests align with their work. So
okay,
you have to make it clear.
all
And
right,
probably like me now, I did something related to PDE during my undergraduate project, and his research work is related to PDE. So
oh,
yeah,
okay,
so I had to just blend it, and it clicked. And so the fourth one, just like I mentioned, you attach relevant documents. So you
okay.
can apply
Relevant documents like what?
CV, your CV. You can attach your CV, and possibly you can attach your research proposal. You know,
Okay,
you can, if you have a research proposal, you can attach that. And if in your research proposal, you can attach probably like you can include your background, academic background, not where you came from, not from the town you were living. So it's like academic background and what you are planning to do and what you're doing currently. So you
okay,
can attach that. Don't include that in the email, but attached documents.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the last one, you have to be professional. So you have to use a formal tone, and you have to make sure you check through typos. Me, I usually use Grammarly. I used and sometimes my computer actually do tell me,
Correct.
okay, this is
Correct.
wrong ahead, and I correct it. So you want to check for typos, and you use format tone. So yeah, those are the five key tips. You personalize your email, you keep it brief, then you highlight your alignment, how your research interest aligns with
Okay.
theirs, and you attach relevant documents. So you keep your email brief, but you can attach documents that will explain further about you, or that will tell them about internship you've done, voluntary services, and the likes.
Okay.
And you have to be professional. So, yep, those
All
things.
right. All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So I believe for to our viewers, they are listening and they are taking note of all those things. I'm happy to hear that you said after 4 hours the professor replied. So what was the response? What are the steps you took after? Because I know once they respond, it doesn't mean like you just landed in the US after
Mhm.
that. So tell
Yeah.
us the process. How long did it take? And let us know.
All right. So when I sent the email, it was around November, and I think for my school, but you will need to like do it early so that you know in case of the type, I know about geography students. You have to have a professor before you can get admitted into the program, some geography related program. But for my program, you don't have to really have a professor before you get applied.
Okay.
Like the professor I actually sent the email to is not the one I'm working with currently. Yeah. So in my program, you can send email, but when you get here, if your research interest changes, then you can change professor. But there
Okay.
are some schools and there are some programs, once you are accepted by that professor,
You don't have a
you
choice.
don't have a choice, you have
So
to work
that
with
is
it.
why you have to do your research.
Yeah. So if the professor should be moved, I have a friend, the professor has been moved to another school. Now he has to look for another professor.
Or you go with a
Yeah,
professor.
is either you go with her, and if she's not like really stable where she's going, then like she doesn't know her fate where she's going, then for you too, you have to find your way elsewhere.
Yeah.
But like for my program, like my program accepted me, not the professor actually. So the
Oh,
professor only supported the application, like, okay, he's good, I've
and
seen his
that's yeah,
documents. Yeah, so that
exactly.
works too. That works, gives you edge over all other applicants.
Other applicants, yes, yes.
So after he replied, he said hi, he told me about his research areas, and then he told me about the program, and told me I have to pass so exams. Then he said I should send my documents, that is my CV. Yeah, like during my own time, I did not attach documents.
Okay, so
During my own time, like when back then, no one taught me this. I did not watch a video like this. I did not, I had no idea,
yeah,
and I did
maybe
not search. So I did not know that I had to attach documents. So I did not attach anything. I only wrote. I did not even say best regard. I did not even, say thank you. So he asked me for my CV, and he asked me for a letter of recommendation.
okay.
So that like if my uh, professors in Nigeria recommends me, then okay, we see what to do. So I sent him my transcript, my CV, and I told my professors in Nigeria three letters of recommendation. So then after I sent that, then it was like, yeah, good, nice. Then he said I should apply on the department's website. So I had to go there, then start um, the application, and yeah. So I applied. So yeah, I uploaded the CV, the statement of purpose, the likes, and I was waiting for the admission around. I think the admission came around February.
Wow.
Was it February or March? I think it was around March. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I actually I think I completed. Yeah, I completed because my Duolingo result came in February. I remember February
Really?
30th. Yeah, I
Wow.
think I
So when
wrote
did
the
the
exam
application,
maybe December.
okay, when did the application close?
The
When was the
application
deadline?
closes, I think, April or
Oh,
May.
oh, nice, nice, nice.
But you wouldn't want to wait till the application
Yeah,
closes.
yeah,
You want
yeah.
to be like a preferred applicant. You have to be early, Yeah. So, but because I was waiting for, I had a lot of things, but thank God for today. Because I was waiting for my national ID card. I couldn't use the paper copy. I need the plastic copy. So I had to wait for it to come out. Then I think I was able to write the exam in January, Duolingo exam. That was the only thing keeping me waiting. Then I got the result in February. Then I completed my application in February. Then
Wow.
the admission came in March. Then when it came, there was no funding yet. Then I was
Oh, they
praying
gave you admission first, right?
first. Yeah, so they gave
Okay.
me admission first. Then I'll be like, okay, but I don't have money to pay for all these things. Then I think after 3 days or 5 days or 7 days, I cannot remember. Then the funding came, you
Oh,
know.
wow.
So full funding with teaching assistantship.
Oh, as a
So in my
teacher.
school we have teaching assistantship, we have research assistantship. But
Oh,
they gave me teaching assistantship because I wrote that I love teaching and I've had like more than 5 years of teaching experience. So they gave me teaching assistantship. And yeah, so that was how it all went. Then I had to pay application fee actually.
oh,
My
yeah. I was
school,
gonna ask that question. So, did you pay, or the professor just waived it for you?
no, is either the professor will pay for you or we ask you to pay. The professor cannot just waive it like that. Someone will have to pay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
but for me, for my school it's $60. So I had to pay application fee.
Oh,
Yeah, so the professor did not waive it for me.
that's
So
love. That's
yeah, so I had to pay $60.
Oh wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I have question. Did you just apply to University of Alabama, or did you also apply to some other schools? Or probably like how was the whole process? Is it just one and you just got one year?
Yep. During my time, I only applied to University of Alabama, Birmingham. That was the
Really?
only school I applied to. Yeah. So I only
Wow.
applied to one, and I got it. So that was great.
Celebrate
Yeah,
great.
but yeah. So I tried to apply to other schools when I got here, but as at that time over there, I applied to just University of
One.
Alabama. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. So I think we should give room for question and answer right now
All
before
right.
we go ahead with some other topic. So so you guys, if you have any questions, please drop that in the comment section. We can read your comment and we can just like I can ask our speaker for today. I think Abiodun Emmanuel said, "How many words should the code email be?" I mean, I'll leave that for Francis to answer. Francis, how many words? I don't think there's specific words, but please can you answer
Yeah. Um. Uh. There's no specific words. Like I haven't checked.
that?
Um. But you just want to keep it brief
Yeah.
as much as
And
possible.
make sure
You
that
know.
it aligns. Yeah.
Yeah, but like this is email, right? This is not document. This is not your statement of
Let's say,
purpose. It is not an essay.
yeah,
You are just introducing yourself, right?
yeah.
Mine, I am a mathematics major, a first class graduate of University of Ilorin, Nigeria, and I am interested in attending this school based on since your research interest aligns with mine, especially this paper. Then after that, you mention what you've done, maybe a project which aligns. Like that is the highlighting the alignments. So you mentioned how it aligns, and that shouldn't be more than 3 lines or four
Okay.
lines. Then you attach relevant documents. You just tell him or her that please see the attached documents for your reference. So you
Okay.
just attach your CV and you can talk about your background in the research area.
Thank you.
So keep it simple, keep it brief as much as possible.
Thank you.
Not that long.
All
I
right.
don't have like certain number right now.
To add to what you said, thank you for answering that. I would say there is not like a specific amount of words. You should know that. Oh, you yourself just look at it that if you were a professor and the student is sending you thousands of words, you would not read that, right? So just let you can give it to people to review it for you. Give it to somebody else. Probably what you can see, somebody else can see it. That is why you need to go along with people in this journey, not just you just doing it. Of course, some people have done it by themselves and they are successful, right? But I feel like going with people will make you go faster and easier in the whole process. So keep it brief, just like you said. Make sure you are using keywords that really align to what you are going for. Don't go and be saying something that is not boring, that is boring. Maybe you are going for mathematics and you're now talking about your experience as a photographer. It does not align, right? And you don't want to bore the professor. So Ayomide, I think we've answered your question. Yeah, Abiodun, sorry. So let's move on to the next question. Um, Someone said, why do we really need a professor in this whole process?
Okay.
Francis, please answer that.
Okay. So it depends on the program, and it is not a must to reach out to a professor. It is
Exactly.
not a must.
Exactly.
But it is just advisable because it will give you an edge over someone that doesn't contact a professor. And it depends on the program.
Okay.
There are some programs you need to find a professor to work with before you be
Yeah.
admitted. There are
Yeah.
some programs. So it depends on the program. For biomedical sciences, you have to reach out to a professor.
Yeah.
And based on what I know, even if you are not reaching out to a professor, you have to include. I have like friends here in the same program that they did not reach out to a professor, but they include in their statement of purpose that there is a particular professor in the
Yeah.
department
Yeah.
that they would love to work with. Because if you don't mention, and like you don't mention that you want to work with any professor in the department and you want to be a PhD student, so like what are you coming to do?
Yeah.
So it is part of the thing that we encourage them that, oh, he has seen a professor that is doing social work and is interested in doing that work. Okay, this candidate is knows what he or she is doing.
He's really, he or she is coming to the work here, not just
Mhm.
come and play. Yes.
He has done his or her assignment and he knows that okay, this is what he's going to do. Not someone that will just come, just like a student that came this year in a general meeting. Then he is introducing himself and he's saying that I not really like book, so I not like to read book.
A
So
PhD
please,
student.
honestly, so please help me in this department. General, where all professors are, you know,
Nobody will want to work with you.
you know.
If you project yourself that way, no one will want to work with you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the graduate coordinator, sorry, the department chair. She was like, we wouldn't want to end with these notes. Can someone else introduce? you
Oh my.
know, they need you. They want you to love book. Yeah, even if you don't love book, you will show them that you love book.
Yeah.
So you don't say it out like that. So that is why you have to include.
Need
It's
it.
not a must to reach out to a professor directly, but there are some programs. They will tell you
Yeah.
for every schools you have to check the requirements. So
Exactly.
there are some they would have told you have to check for a professor to work with before you apply.
Yeah.
So, but if your program does not require that, you don't have to reach out. But you have to include it in your SOP so that they will know that you've done your assignment and you know what you want to come and do.
Yeah. Especially if you're a PhD applicant. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Especially
So I
PhD.
think I'm going to add to that. I'm sorry if I cut you.
Okay.
To add to what you've said, I can remember like reaching out to professors, and they even told me that, girl, go and get admission first before you come to us. So it
Mhm.
varies. Like it
Yeah.
varies, and some schools will like they will tell you you need to get a professor. The reason because of this is because if you are coming in as a research assistant, that means you have to get a professor that their grant will fund you. That is why you need a professor. So
Mhm.
if you don't have a professor, then you can't get admission. If that program only sponsors students based on just research assistantship, or yeah. So if your program is just like a teaching assistantship, then you don't necessarily need if your program is being funded by like maybe teaching assistantship, then you don't necessarily need to like reach out to a professor, but you can include a professor that you will still like to work with, because along the line you will still do research, right? So I think we've answered that question. Do you still have anything to say so we can move to the next question?
No, we're good.
Okay, all right. So the next question is, if your program does not need you to secure a PI, okay, do I still need to send a cold email? If
If
your
your
pro-
what? If your
your
program,
program does not need you to send a PI, do you still need to send a cold email?
yeah,
Just
that's what I'm saying, right? It is not a must. So
yeah,
if it doesn't require, you don't have to, but you have to include it in your statement of purpose that you would love to work with at least one of the professors. You have to mention that applying to the department, there must be a reason, right? You cannot just say because I want to study this, then I chose this department or I
yeah,
chose this school. There, you must have seen a professor, you must have seen a work of one of the professors in the department before you are applying to that department. Why not other schools? Why that school? Why that department?
yeah,
So it has to be like you've seen a work from one of the because if you don't love any work that any professor is doing, the PhD will be tough for you. You will
yeah.
not
There
enjoy
is
the
nothing like you're not supposed to be there. Then
yeah,
you should
you're not
go to
supposed to
other
be
schools.
there.
Yeah. So
So you have a tough time. So you have to let them know that
mhm,
you really love a work a professor is doing. Then they will be like, okay, we can welcome this student here, and
yeah,
the student will not have a tough time here. So
yeah,
it is important, even if you don't message PI or you don't get a PI, you should mention it in your
yeah.
SOP that you would love to work with so person. Yeah.
Exactly. So
So
let's continue. I don't know, I think we are having them. So like just to add to what you've said as well, I think we need to understand that but before I say what I want to say, we are not trying to discourage anybody or discriminate or bring anything down. We want you guys to be enlightened. That
mhm.
is the purpose of this life. So make sure you are gaining information. Anything we are telling you, make sure you are taking it as something not to discourage you, but to prepare your mind and to make you understand that this is what you are in for and this is what you want to work towards for. Okay, so we are not bringing any negative vibes here. Okay, we are trying to be positive as much as we can, but we want you guys to be enlightened. We are not hiding anything here. Okay, so to add to what you've said concerning that PI, if they said your program does not require you, of course, you can just save that time to message that professor. But if you have time and you really want to message professor, continue. But just know that you might not get response. You won't get a response. So channel your energy to the right places where you really want to get a response and that kind of a thing. So moving on to the next question, we have is is did you Ayomide said, did you get an offer before you pay the $60 application fee?
You have to pay for application fee before you get an offer. Like application fees when you are applying.
Yeah, they
So
won't
you
even
have
review
to,
your application without the you
yeah.
pay. Yeah.
So your application will not be submitted without paying, and if your application is not submitted, then you will not
They won't
get
yeah, they won't
admitted.
review it.
They will even review your submission. So
Yeah.
you have to pay. So I know that some people are scared of that, applying.
Yeah.
Well, you can search. There are few programs or schools doing waivers, but
Yeah.
they're highly competitive. Just know that it will
Well,
be highly
I
competitive.
actually thought UAB offer application fee waiver.
No, University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa. So those are the ones that offers, but here is at Birmingham. So
Boomerang or boomerang.
Birmingham,
Birmingham.
Birmingham
Okay, okay. So he is a student at the University of Alabama at
at
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
So they don't offer application fee, but
Yeah,
University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa,
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 Tuscaloosa.
they offer application fee waivers. Okay, so take advantage of that. Take note of that. All right, guys. Ayomide, you can check that out because I understand the application fee used to be a challenge. Is a like
Mhm.
yeah, when you convert
Yeah.
and all this kind of thing. Yeah,
And there are so many programs in Nigeria, MasterCard, and there are a lot you can search.
yeah.
I don't really know about those programs before I got here, and since I got here already, I don't need them. So you can search on them that they fund your, but you have to compete as well. So they
Yeah,
fund your IELTS your application fee, like they pay
They-
for them.
yeah,
So yeah, so there are a lot of ways. So if you don't have money, you can
take
find
advantage
ways
of that.
to, yeah, but you have to good, you have to know how to convince you. You have to
Yeah.
be very good to win all those things.
Yeah, you can see an example of those people like marketer with scholarship. So like
Mhm.
there are opportunities. You just have to be prepared. To add
Mhm.
to that, guys, as we are going on, you guys, if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And um in time, in following week, I think like in few weeks time, sorry, I'll be bringing a mastercard scholar to share that with us. So I just wanted to brush that in. If you're here to subscribe and turn your notifications so you don't miss us when we go live on that day. Moving on to the next question, I think someone is asking, if you have a distinction in mass communication, please can I apply for PhD program direct, or I should apply for master?
Yeah, I think you can. All you need to do is you search for the school,
Yeah,
you check for the PhD requirements. It's just about the requirements. Once
exactly.
you check the requirements, and it is not a must
You
to
have a
have a
master.
master's degree.
Yeah.
And if they accept BSc distinction in mass communication, if they accept BSc, then you are good. You apply.
Okay.
Like in my program, masters fine, BSc fine, and I'll be like, okay, I have BSc, and at least I have other things I can add to my CV and my statement of purpose. Then I applied.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some programs they want you to just have BSc and relevant
Yeah.
experience and motivation.
Yeah.
Then they are good. You
Yeah.
can even perform better than anyone that has master's degree. So it is not that some programs masters is not compulsory.
Yeah.
Then I
Thank.
think all programs, almost all programs that I know, masters is not compulsory. But some programs, master student has an edge over BSc students, but not
Yeah.
all programs. So
Yeah.
all you
Yeah.
need to do is just search and check for the requirements.
Good. Thank you. So to add to what you said again, if you are looking for funding, spread your options. Okay. PhD student, the probability of you getting funding when you get admission for PhD is higher than the probability of you getting funding with your master's admission. So you know you can get admission for both and not get funding. But the probability that you will get funding for PhD is much higher than the probability that you will get funding for masters.
Masters.
And all the same, it all depends on the program. So guys, take note of that. You can apply directly with your bachelor's if your school allow that. Just check. So I'm bringing scholar Francis here to tell you that it is possible for you to go directly from bachelor's to PhD. He is a living testimony. I don't know how to say it that way. And also, he has his master's now. So you did not mention that, but I will help you mention it. He has his master's now. So he got admission directly into PhD, and along the line, he got his master's. So that master's of 18, when you start your PhD, you will still take coursework that has to be like all those master's requirements, coursework. So you just need to take note of that. I hope we are getting a lot of insight in this section. You can as well share this link with your friends. Let them know that we are live. Let them join in, and they also can gain a lot of information. I can always tell people it is very good for you to carry people along in this journey. Scholar Francis, I remember when we were in university, we had like a group that we were always trying to share each other help, share
Yeah.
information, and that was what really helped us.
That really helped
Yeah,
actually.
I could really say that all of us, like in that group, most of us, none of us are now in back in the country. We all got fully funded scholarship, and
Mhm.
that was what helped people like us that we don't know about these things. You hear
Yeah.
from this, you hear from this. So share this with your friends. Don't just keep this to yourself. I know you might want to like try to be alone in this journey, just trying to do things yourself. But share it with people, share it with your classmates, your colleagues. Let them come and gain a lot of insight as well. So we move on to the next question. Um, Sorry, we might be skipping some question, but no, it is not intentional because the thing keeps going up. So is it appropriate to follow up if I don't get a response from the scholarship committee? And if so, how long should I wait before doing that? Follow up, follow up.
Um Scholarship committee. You mean like United States, not like the Nigeria committee? Okay, with this United States, like you applied and for scholarship. Well, you is there a specific time? It has happened to me before because when I got here, I was trying to check for other programs, you know. Um, so I've done it before that I got admitted and there's no funding yet. I'm like, what's going on? So, but you have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, as maybe you can give it like a week or two. Then after 2 weeks, you can see about sending email. You can send email like if you not get any response. Like I saw a question like, is it advisable to check up? Send email.
Yeah.
Is it that
But
they
not
read
too
it?
much, though. But not too much.
Sure,
Because
sure,
I
not
wrote
too
a
much.
message on the website. The school said the graduate people said you bugging us with emails does not mean that we are going to give you admission. So
It
be
shouldn't be
careful.
too much. Yeah, it should be reasonable. Actually, yeah, it
Exactly.
should be reasonable.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be asking every time. Like if you check up once and you don't see a response, you should know that they are not responding.
Maybe 2 weeks interval.
Then
Yeah.
once you send twice and no response, just let it be. Just
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think some people like when they ask, like try and if you want to ask a question, ask your questions like all together, not like they respond, blah blah. You go again. It can bore the person and be like, oh, your wala is too much, your problem is too much. But yeah, feel free to always send in mails, just like I said. We are allowed to like ask questions. If it's possible, if you can put a call through, call them and let them know what is the status of your application. It's something I've done before. So
Mhm.
yeah. Thank you. Let's move on to the next question. Can you get a teaching assistantship waiver for mathematics for those teaching assistantship? So you mean funding? Yeah, he said for mathematics and he had his bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Yeah,
Then he said he has two.
yeah,
Um. Okay. That it depends on the school, right? For my school, there is no. Okay, this is tuition fee, no application fee. Tuition fee waiver.
like funding, teaching assistantship, like scholarship.
Yeah, like before you can get tuition fee waiver, you have to have funding.
Yeah,
Before they can waive your tuition fee. So now, I think this issue now is about like it's not like for BSc mechanical engineering, definitely you can get admitted into MSc mathematics. But for 2-2, you know that you have to do extra things.
yeah,
Um, with 2-2, without extra documents, you cannot get a teacher assistant with tuition fee waiver for MSc. In my school, you cannot. Even United States, I don't think you can. Because if you do West evaluation with your 2-2, you know, because some programs it's some programs 3.0 minimum, some 2.75. So it depends on the school. So you
yeah,
have to really search for a school that is not that competitive. Then you check for the requirement.
yeah,
Then you do your West evaluation. I think Olamide has a video on West evaluation. You can
yeah.
check that. So you can do West evaluation if it aligns. These things are based on requirement.
Exactly.
These things are based on you have to check the school you're applying to and the department. Check their requirements. If you have those requirements, you are good. But for 2-2, it will be really competitive. So you have to probably do GMAT or GRE to support your application.
Yeah,
So with that, you are trying to tell them that probably you had one issue or the other during school. That is why you had 2-2. But you want to prove to them that you can actually do this program.
yeah,
That is why you are doing GRE and GMAT.
yeah,
So that is what I will advise before you can get teaching assistantship, and it depends on the school actually. Because here most international students apply directly to PhD because they really fund masters
yeah.
in my school. But there are some schools they fund master
Yeah,
students.
I got masters like there were like funding
Mhm.
for masters. It got
Yeah,
PhD. So it all depends various schools.
yeah.
So you guys
So
have to know that. Yeah.
yeah, so it is just about searching. You search. You can search. You can search under US News, or you can search Google. Some people are scared of, probably, like, you should know that you're on the right website. When you click on the website, you should know that you're on the school website. So you can search for those schools that are accepting, that, okay, for mathematics graduate school. Then
Yeah.
you click on each school. Then you can go into the department and check for their requirement.
Requirement.
But for 2-2, no matter the requirement, you should do GRE or GMAT to support your application if you
Exactly.
if you
Yeah.
need
And
funding.
in addition to what Scholar Francis has said, your statement of purpose, you want to make sure that you told them, let them know that you are capable, you can do it. So it's not just about your um, academic destiny. Of course, academic destiny is very important. It's a plus, academic excellence, but you can also like prepare some other points. Thank
Mm.
you, Scholar. Thank you so much for answering our questions. We still have a few more questions to answer. And guys, please, if you have any more questions, please drop your questions. And this is a room for you to get a lot of insight about anything that you feel like you need to know regarding this studying abroad journey. So, if you want to be considered for scholarship, and you start your application early, let's say by September, but complete your application by January, can it still be considered an early application? Yeah.
Well, um, it depends on when the application is closing and when it starts. And it depends on the number of people that are applying.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
depends. It depends on different factors.
Yeah.
So imagine there's a particular school that students are focusing on, and before November, they've already had like 100 applicants. So, and you submitted around January or February. That's not early anymore. But
Yeah.
for some schools, in my school, during my own set, I had someone that applied in March and got it in April.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it depends, because my school is not that popular actually. Like, people
It's,
doesn't really know my school.
oh, we
It's
just
just
want the funding. We are not after the popularity. We want the funding.
yeah. So so some people doesn't really know, but here, it's kind of still a little bit easier to get in, something like that. So because we don't have a large number of applicants, you understand. So so there are some people like that, and he has like good background, academic background. So he got the funding. So yeah, so it is not that bad if you submit. Like I said, mine I submitted in February and I got the funding in March.
Wow.
So it depends on a lot of factors, but you would want to submit like early. But if for one condition, because mine was because of certain conditions, that I wasn't able to apply early, to submit my application early. So if there are conditions you cannot control, then you have to wait till you have all the documents and apply, no
Okay.
matter what. But if you are able, if you have all the documents and even if you don't have the time, find the time, apply early. The earlier the better. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So to add to what you've said again, I believe like what they do is for some schools, the people that submit first, they will even put it on their websites. They give consideration to people that submit the application of first. So especially for schools that gives rolling admission, people that apply first will get the funding, and once they've gotten to the amount of student they want to take. That means the rest of people, they are just applying.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is why you want to make sure that you start on time, so you can submit on time and you are relaxed and just waiting for the response. So you've cleared the way, maybe probably the obstacle of you being among the candidate that applied late. So regardless, just try and put yourself, whether you are considered as an early applicant or not, try and apply on time. You will put yourself on a very good standing. Okay. So to move to the next question, someone said, I think he's asking the question again. Can you please give insight on what a good streamer of purpose should entail? A good streamer of purpose. You want to answer that?
But I think you have a video on that, right?
Yeah, I do have a video on talking about statement of purpose. You can go to that, but just briefly, I would say your statement of purpose, the beginning should talk about your motivation, and after that, talk about your academic experience, your background, your academic background, sorry, you can match it with your research experience and your internship, your experience in general. Then you want to talk about the reason why you're applying to that program in particular, that specific program, what is really spectacular about it. You could have gone to another school, but let them know why you are choosing that school and that program. Then you conclude with your long-term goals. So that is what a statement of purpose should entail. That's a summary. You can check out my video. Guys, if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you, guys. We will come back to the questions. Let me ask our speaker some questions before we go back to reading questions from the comment section. Okay, so you talked about the whole process and the whole like how has your experience been as an international student studying in the United States? I would say, like, can you just share some insight with us that you feel like people that are watching will benefit a lot from? Yeah, like the whole process, like the whole studying experience. Have you been enjoying it? Any challenge, anything whatsoever? Can you please share with us? Is there anything you advise people to do that they are still like what that are still in their home country and they are planning to come study in their abroad?
All right, thank you. So permit me to mention here, like you can search my name on LinkedIn. There was a time I started to share a little experience that I had here. Right from like the way I experienced it, I wrote down those things. So you can check on
Can you
LinkedIn.
tell us your name? I would put that on LinkedIn. On Francis, what's your name on LinkedIn?
Yeah, Francis Omoniyi, just that.
Yeah, you guys should connect with us on LinkedIn. Connect with Francis. It's a way of you building your connection. Networking is very important as well. Yeah,
And you can ask me questions on LinkedIn too, like
yeah, yeah,
direct message.
yeah.
So yeah, you will see the experience. Then I advised people, the first one I said when we started this program, that if you have a first class there, or if you can pass in Nigeria, then it is easy here. It is not like that. It is not like that. It was tough. And I thought probably it's because, like, probably I don't know, maybe my brain is getting older, but the likes of Scholar Olamide too and others, when they go here, you hear they testified that, yeah, it's not that easy. So when you get here, it's you have to relearn. You have to start learning as if you don't know anything, because
Anything.
it's a new system, it's a new curriculum. So the way they taught them here, like their BSc, is not the way we were taught. So we had to learn from their own BSc approach, then align with their PhD, not master's, PhD approach. So it's a lot to study. So what I would advise is, before you get here, if you are able to get the curriculum, or you're able to reach out to a graduate student in that school, or
That's
you just
important. That's
Mhm.
very important. Yeah.
and get a glimpse of, even if it is the first two chapters, those are the foundation. Even if it's the first two chapters, try to study those and get familiar with that. If you're able to understand those concepts, by the time you get here, you will have a smooth journey. Trust me. It took me 2 months to understand chapter one, and they've gone so far
Oh my
before
God.
I could catch up. There was a time my hair, I was looking like homeless being, because I don't want to go back home. It was so tough. But like, while you're staying in Nigeria, enjoy, like after BSc, enjoy, please enjoy, rest, enjoy. But create time, even if it is 2 hours in a day, get the curriculum here, get the material here, and start reading, start
That would
studying.
help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that will help. Before you get here, you'll be a great scholar. Trust me. Yeah,
Thank
but enjoy your time too, because when you get here, yeah, the program will not give you time to enjoy. So enjoy it too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for that. I think just to add to that is that I think you people should I always emphasize on this word. Do your research very, very well,
Hmm.
because you just see it, a title does not mean like it is the same thing like with other programs, like the same thing with others in other schools. So a school might be like a PhD in mathematics, PhD in mathematics. They might just be doing pure mathematics here and applied mathematics there. So check all those things, check all those course requirements. This school might require you to take 100 coursework. This school might require you to take 50 coursework. So, and both of you are PhDs today, right? So just check that requirement and make sure you know what you're coming for. Thank you for that. Thank you. We really, really appreciate. And in terms of probably like culture shock, do you have any culture shock studying so far? Like,
Culture shock.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you have any like anything you've tried to like adjust to coming back from Nigeria to the US? Like, what have you adjusted to so far? Anything that amazes you, that baffles you? Would you like to share any with us?
Oh, well, nothing much, you know. Uh, Nothing
Okay.
much. I don't know if I should. You no, no, the major thing is that most of the times you just be alone, you know. You have to,
Okay.
like right now, I am more of an introvert than an extrovert, you know.
You
You
used
know
to
me.
be an extrovert,
Yeah,
right?
you know me. I even got like an award for the most sociable scholar, you know, like I am
Now
social,
you
you know.
don't have time to be social.
But here, you know, my room is my club now.
Socialize.
Yeah, so like you won't really have time, um you know, to party that much or have friends or go out. You know, it's gonna be like most times it's gonna be you and your thoughts and your thoughts, you know. So most
Yeah,
times you have to get used to being alone.
yeah.
It's not being depressed. You just be alone because people are busy. Everybody they are busy. So you cannot just say, "Oh yeah, let's go." But once in a while, there is always time to go out. But
Okay.
most of the time, you will be alone, studying, researching, doing this alone.
All right.
So even if you have a friend that you're in the same department, that doesn't mean you guys will still be together. You will be alone more than when you will be with anyone. So that one I wasn't used to it, you know. I want to go my like alone. I wasn't used to it, but now
Yeah, used to that.
I
Hey.
am I am good. So and aside that, I don't think okay, the food too, you know, based on my environment, based on where I am, like we don't have like Nigeria restaurant or store. So I have to eat responsible for the food I brought from Nigeria, but oh, but we had to go to a neighboring country, you know. Sorry, neighboring state. Neighboring state to get the food stuff and you know, and I'll have to be eating it. Well, I don't eat much, so I have to be so that I don't have to go that far because it's a little bit far from here. So yeah, just that the loneliness, then the food, and um
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
something
cool.
like that,
That
something like
sounds cool, and I'm glad you've adjusted well. Nice.
mhm,
So, like, thank you so much, Scholar Francis, FOE.
mm.
Um, we would go back to our Q and A. We'll continue reading, and we would end after that. Yeah. Oh, Adifa is joining us. Thank you, girl, for joining. There's a question. It is ideal to justify in your SOP why you could not finish with a first class, say 4.4, 5.0 over out of 5.0 due to financial hardships that necessitated you taking a job outside school to keep up the bills. What do you think about that?
Hmm. Well, I do advise, you know, because I review SOP sometimes. So I advise you, you include that, but you would want to package it very well, you know,
Yeah.
um, because let's say it's gonna be like it depends on the program you're applying to. So let's say you're applying to a program that will give you 50% funding, and you have to take a job outside school during the program. Let's say MSc, and you wrote in your SOP that you couldn't meet up with a particular degree because you had to take job. So that shows when you come and you have to take job outside. So it means you will not be able to meet up with the departments,
So
you know. So
it's
you will
negative.
need to be careful or how you will package the financial hardship, right?
Yeah.
You will need to be packaged. You package it like a family related something that you couldn't handle, you know. So it is actually cool to justify why you couldn't get that first class. But first class is not in my school, in my current degree. I don't know about the Indians, but all the other students, I don't think there's anyone that had first class, you know. And here too, most of my friends, once they hear that I had first class, scholar. Not all of them, like a very few had first class. So it is not about first class.
Yeah.
It is not about first
Not
class.
just about that. Yeah.
4.4 is high enough. You know,
Yeah.
the requirement is 3.0 on 4.0 scale actually.
Yeah.
On 4.0 scale, the minimum is 3.0. Then your other background, your research experience, your CV, your internship,
Experience.
your
Yeah.
experience will now push further more
Yeah.
than just the grade. It is
Yeah.
not just about the grade. They are not concerned more of the grade, you know, like it's just one of the requirements,
Thank
you
you.
know. So as long as you have that minimum of 3.0 on 4.0 scale, you have to find a way to convert that actually. So is it
Yeah.
that I think there's a free online ways evaluation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I actually have a video coming up on that. Like I really like just to post. It's like a West calculator where you can calculate your CGPA of a team, like without like evaluating directly officially to give you like on a
What
scale of
to expect.
4.0. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So so for me, I even used mathematics to to convert my when I was applying. But that was by the way. So you can it is ideal. You can mention I had this hardship, I did this, but you should be careful of
Yeah.
what condition you will attach so that it will not
Don't
affect,
stand against you.
you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I reviewed one SOP this person sent to me, and he was like he couldn't make first class because he was doing tutorials for students in the department, in the faculty. So
Mm.
when you get here now and they give you
Teaching.
teaching assistantship, so that shows when you are grading and you are tutoring, it will affect your grade.
Yeah.
So you will not get it. So you have to be careful of how
What
you
you
attach the condition. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so
Uh,
much for that. We
sorry,
believe,
sorry. Then you should tell you know when you write something like that, you should find someone that will review your SOP for you, and they will let you know. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so please be careful of what you are putting in your story. Of course, it's your personal story. Your personal story. Your story is unique to you, but don't write words that will be used against you. We have you always said I joined the life quite late. Did you say we can pick a research topic or proposal from your research interest, from the professor research interest, and share it in your code email? What if it's not in line with the professor ongoing project?
Yeah, your research interest has to align with the professor you are sending the email to.
Yeah,
So you have to check for the school
yeah.
or the professor that his work aligns with you or our work aligns with yours before you can send an email to the professor. If if you are saying you are not interested in the professor's work and you are
And you
sending
want
email
to
and you want him to work with you, so do you want him to create a research interest that will align with your own? That is not possible. So you have to write to a professor that it's not about ongoing project. Oh, you
yeah.
check the profile, you will write research interest.
Interest.
So it will list them, not some most of them, not one. If
Yeah.
you now if your research interest does not align with any, then you move ahead and move to check for other professors.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's just it.
So I think in terms of that thing, one thing I've realized is that you don't have to necessarily know everything, but look for that one thing that you can just connect. You
Mhm,
understand? It can just be just one background, like all those prerequisite things, maybe something that you've done that you feel like you can connect, then you are
mhm.
good to go. Yeah.
And you don't have
So
to know too much. I
is
only
that
did a
the
little
that
bit
you're
in
coming to
PDE.
exactly?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
only did a little bit in partial differential equation when I
yeah.
applied. And he told me in the email, he said he knows that most of these things I will not understand now. But he knows that at least I know idea like foundation on
Just
PD.
the basic,
And
yeah.
he'll be like, okay, let's see what you got, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So we believe we've answered your question. If you guys still have questions, please drop it. We're rounding up in few minutes. We have what about family related issues like being twin and orphan, which affected your academics on campus? Hmm.
Yeah, once again, depends on how you package it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just
You can
about
write your
packaging.
story. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's.
so you can include your story in the beginning, but not like how this happened, not too long, short. Like
Yeah.
I think that would be in the like first paragraph.
Yeah, it
So
has
just
to
short.
align. I think if it
Yeah,
does not align to what you are writing, don't put it. But if it aligns, you can connect words.
you
Some people
can
are very
connect.
good at storytelling. If you can write it and it matches what you are saying, then I think you're good to go. Yeah,
hmm
yeah. So then we have the last question here. Was your funding from the department of your professor
No, I think it means all your professor.
or
Okay,
your
is
professor?
it?
Okay.
So maybe it is department of your professor. Yeah, it is. Let me answer both ways. The funding is from like the department will write to the graduate school that okay, oh, we are admitting the student, give him funding. So then the graduate school will now give funding to the department to give to the student. So the graduate school actually offers the funding, but the department has to say we want to fund the student.
Exactly.
Graduate school will give the funding. Then the funding is not from my professor. There are some, if it is like research assistant and the professor is doing a particular research, so they will give grant to the professor. Then the
Yeah.
professor will be paying you from the grant. So
Exactly. Yeah.
there's another funding like that.
Yeah.
But my teaching assistant,
Yeah.
so it is from the department, and the department wrote to the graduate school, and the graduate school gave me the funding.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for clearing that. Yes. Next question. What if a PI look at my LinkedIn profile but did not respond to my mail? Should I follow up?
Okay, like you mean like the professor did not reply to
What's
the email,
profile?
but
Yeah.
you can see that he's checking the this,
Yeah.
yeah, you can actually follow up,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Follow up. Just like we mentioned earlier, don't do it back to back or too much. Follow up. Then
Yeah.
once you follow up and you did not get response, just follow up one more time. If you did not get, just know that maybe he's not interested or something. So then you move on to another professor.
Thank you. I think our last question for today from Sikiru Senior Bola, is it advisable to add references to your CV?
Um yeah, it's not bad.
Did you add references to your CV while applying?
Oh yeah, during my whole period, I told you my CV was very dry, so I needed to add something to make it two
Oh yeah, so
pages.
I added references. So
Yeah.
look
So,
at
but
that.
if you have a long CV, like you have like experiences, you wouldn't want to have 3 pages. Just
Yes,
write request available on request if you already have a lot of things.
yeah,
So references, because you will still input recommendation letters. Like those are your references as well. Those
yeah,
that will write recommendation letters for you. So it is
yeah.
not compulsory. But if you know your CV, you should try to make like 2 pages. You know, there should not be studying reading it for too much. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you don't have much like me when I applied, you know, then you can add them. But if you already have a lot, you can just tell them it is available if they request for it, like available on request. So anyone, either of the two.
Thank you. People are dropping questions and we are almost rounding up. Yeah, Mr. Sleman, it's possible for you. It's very possible without that. What time and day is it advisable to send cold email? Do you have any answer to that?
Well, based on my experience, it depends on the professor. Some professor they will respond during weekend. You know, just that I couldn't check the day I sent mine. It was November 8th, 2021, but I don't know the day. So um some will reply, but just make sure it is working days, like
Yeah.
working days. And if you want to, like what I do now these days, so if I want to send to any professor, I will send like middle of the night or night so that in the morning the professor will meet it. So when he wants to open his email, you know, because all professors they will check email
Exactly. Every
every
morning.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for that morning, at least mine will be like top, you know. So
Yes.
like weekdays. So during weekdays, and you send like the middle of the night in United States, so that in the morning you will see it. or you can
Yeah.
start at another 7 a.m. so that But there are some they check anytime.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yeah,
and
that's a very good answer to that question. Weekdays, weekends, people don't do when weekends are for weekends. Yeah, like they don't get anything official. You most people would not want to check during weekends. And just like you say, it's a culture for people normally to want to check their emails every morning. So take note of what he has said. Thank you all for joining. Thank you guys. Scholar Francis, thank you so much for your time. Before you leave us, can you please give us an advice? Like, can you please, people that are watching us, just tell them something. What advice do you have for them? Yeah, I believe most of the people watching, they are prospective applicants. Yeah, so prospective graduate students, I would say. So, what advice would you give to them? Anything that can help them? Yeah.
okay. So first thing, I'll start with the enjoyment. Rest well. If you are planning for graduate school, play well with your family, play with friends, enjoy. Enjoy, because once you get here, ah, there's no there's no time for too much faji anymore. So rest well, enjoy, then research, like search very well. Make sure you hold on to the best platform you will need to get information that you need that will help you.
Yeah.
Information is very important, right? If you have information, then it will be very easy for you to do a lot of things. So I would advise, once again, LinkedIn, very important. Connect with some people, you
Yeah.
know.
You can
Uh,
connect with us.
yeah, yeah,
Connect with
yeah.
people.
For the
Yeah.
purpose of this video, for these people here, you can connect and
Everybody, like, try and drop your like
yeah,
LinkedIn, yeah, in the
yeah, you
comment section.
can
Let's connect with
connect.
one another. Yeah.
Yeah, you can connect and message me and say from Olamide's live stream. So I want to ask, I will reply to you quickly. So it's a culture for us here. Sometimes we pick the people we reply to, because there are a lot of things. So reach out to people. Do not be shy. People that will not reply. People that will
We
reply. So
reply.
don't be scared to ask questions. Always ask questions. Reply. Even here, they always advise ask questions. And so then I would say that you should prepare also. You should prepare before coming here, just like we said. Get the curriculum and try to go through, check for the program, check for what they are looking for, and try to blend, check for the programs, what they are offering. There was a school I had to go to their courses and download the PDF and just to glance through,
What they do.
what they would do. By the time I studied that, by the time I go there, at least the first month will be easy for me, and
Oh my.
gradually I'll be adjusting. So that helps too. Then, no matter what, whether they reply or not, do not give up.
Yes.
That
Don't
is
give up.
why you have to have the determination that I want. I said it before I left to Nigeria. I was like, me, I cannot have my master's in Nigeria. If I not leave Nigeria for my graduate school, I would rather be working or do something. I cannot, because I knew what they were offering in United States or outside the country. But I cannot be cramming again or be doing something that I'm
No
not
money.
I'm not even enjoying it, and something like that. At least I should be encouraged. So I
Yeah.
told God, like, if I not get my master, so that the determination was there. So you have to be determined that, okay, I want to do this. So it is that determination that will keep you going, even when professor did not reply you, even when you miss application. When I go here, I said I applied to one school and I got it. When I go here, when I was thinking of probably changing professor or changing program, I applied to some schools that I'll be like, oh, these people will give me. None. They did not know, no school. Even like I've had experience when I got to United States, I'll be like, already I have experience. They know that I'm a PhD student in a school, so I applied to another school, they will accept. They did not. But that did not say, okay, I will not be discouraged. No. Yeah, you will feel it that why, especially people that will use their money, their savings, but do not give up. Never give up. So I will advise that you should be determined, and you should be you should keep on pushing. If you go to LinkedIn, that's why LinkedIn. I so much love LinkedIn. I so much love LinkedIn.
Me
Even
too.
though don't be intimidated by stories
Oh,
on
no, no,
LinkedIn.
no. Yeah, yeah.
Pick the lessons. Just pick the lessons. There are so many people that will tell you that they applied to 25 schools, none. The second year, 50 schools, none. The third year, before they now get it, maybe the third year or fourth year, it is the determination. It
Mhm.
is when you determine that I want this thing, that is what will keep you going. That will be the force that will keep you going. So
Yeah.
yeah, so those are the things I would say. And lastly, for those that believe in God, yeah, grace works. Like mine, I am evidence of grace. I always ask God for mercy.
Celebrate grace.
Please, God, please, please, So yeah, so stay with God. If you're a Muslim, pray every 5 hours, or I can't remember. Christian, pray. If anything, just pray at all times.
Yeah.
Grace actually works, actually. So yep.
Thank you so much, Scholar. I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you for taking your time. And to everybody that has joined this live session, thank you so much. This means a lot because like without you guys, we would just be talking, talking, and yeah, we hope you've gained a lot of insight. We will keep up with this live session. We'll be bringing a lot of scholars to come and talk to you guys. This study abroad dream, it's going to come become a reality. And
Mhm.
I'm much of interested in making a lot of people get enlightened and let them know that it is possible. All you just have to do is just believe in yourself and be determined. Like he said, you have to believe that, oh, yes, I am going to do this and be ready to put in the work. Like it's not like you just sleep on your bed or you just be waking up and you just expect. You have to sacrifice. I was talking to a prospective student. She was awake all night reviewing a statement of purpose because maybe she had to go to work. Yeah, you have to sacrifice your time, your resources, and a lot of things because at the end of the day, it will pay when you get this thing that you are looking for. So, guys, stay tuned for more updates if you are yet to subscribe to our channel because Francis and I, we both have a YouTube channel, so please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to like share information and make this reach a lot of people. Share with your friends. These are the ways in which you can encourage us to let us know that you guys are really getting a whole insight of all what we are saying. And I'm rooting for you all. We are rooting for you. It will be something of pleasure to have you
Respecting.
here. Yeah, so we would not be alone. We would have our
Yeah,
fellow
we have a
people
community.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, a community, the African community. So guys, please subscribe. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us and stay tuned for more updates. If you can also connect with us on LinkedIn or any other social media platform if you have any questions. Thank you once again and thank you, Scholar Francis. See you guys.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye.